Have you ever found yourself questioning the sincerity of those around you? Perhaps you've sensed an undercurrent of unease, a subtle tension that lingers despite the warm smiles and kind words directed your way. This feeling, though elusive, often hints at something deeper, a shadow of envy or deceit concealed beneath the surface. In our journey through life, we often believe we can discern who truly stands with us, but the reality is far more complex. Jealousy and falsehood can be masterfully disguised, making those who harbor such feelings all the more dangerous. Imagine this. You're at the pinnacle of your achievements, surrounded by friends and colleagues who shower you with congratulations. Yet in the midst of this celebration, you can't shake the feeling that something is not right. Perhaps it's the fleeting glance or the insincere tone that betrays what lies beneath, a hidden envy, a concealed resentment. In our quest for peace of mind and genuine relationships, it is crucial that we learn to recognize these subtle signs, not only to protect ourselves from the corrosive influence of envy and deceit, but also to cultivate relationships rooted in honesty and mutual respect. Drawing from the profound wisdom of Stoic philosophy, we will explore 10 effective methods to uncover these hidden truths. Each of these methods is designed to sharpen your perception, to help you see beyond the facade, and to empower you to build connections that are true and lasting. Through this journey, you will not only fortify your own character, but also navigate your relationships with greater wisdom and clarity. Let us embark on this path together, guided by the timeless teachings of the Stoics, to find peace, strength, and authentic human connection. Number 1. Assess the motivation behind advice. In the labyrinth of human interactions, advice is often presented as a gift, a token of goodwill meant to guide us on our path. Yet, as we delve deeper into the teachings of Stoic wisdom, we learn that not all advice is offered with pure intentions. Behind the veil of friendly counsel may lurk ulterior motives, concealed by the giver's charm and eloquence. Consider this. A friend, under the guise of concern, suggests a course of action that seems beneficial on the surface. They might encourage you to take a particular job, pursue a specific goal, or even abandon a relationship. But pause and reflect. What drives this advice? Is it truly for your betterment, or does it serve another purpose? The Stoics teach us to be wary of those who, while appearing supportive, may be steering us toward decisions that align more with their own interests than our well-being. A wise Stoic, ever vigilant, looks beyond the words to the heart from which they spring. Ask yourself, does this person have something to gain from my choice? Are they subtly guiding me in a direction that benefits them more than it benefits me? Such questions are not born of suspicion, but of a deep commitment to truth and integrity. For it is better to walk alone on the path of virtue than to be led astray by the false promises of those who feign concern. Reflect on your own experiences. Have you ever followed advice that later proved to be more beneficial to the giver than to yourself? This is not a call to distrust all counsel, but to temper it with discernment, a key tenet of Stoic thought. True wisdom lies in the ability to differentiate between genuine guidance and manipulative persuasion. When faced with advice, take a step back and observe the motivations behind it. A friend who encourages you to follow your own judgment, who seeks nothing in return for their counsel, is a true ally. But those who push their own agendas, cloaked in the guise of advice, reveal the shadows of envy and self-interest. Number 2. Observe subtle power plays. Power, in its many forms, is a force that can uplift or corrupt, depending on the character of the one who wields it. In the intricate dance of human relationships, power often manifests in ways that are not immediately visible. Subtle gestures, unspoken words, and quiet manipulations that can shift the balance of control without a single overt act. As students of Stoicism, We must train ourselves to perceive these subtle power plays, for they often reveal the hidden envy and deceit that others may harbor. Picture this. A colleague offers to take charge of a project, assuring you that it's in your best interest. On the surface, their actions seem helpful, even generous. Yet as time progresses, you notice that decisions are being made without your input, that your role is being diminished, and that credit for the work subtly shifts in their favor. What began as an offer of assistance has evolved into a quiet wresting of control, a power play cloaked in the guise of cooperation. Such tactics are often the hallmark of those who harbor envy or feel threatened by your presence. Rather than confronting their insecurities, they seek to undermine your confidence, to edge you out of the picture through covert means. The Stoic philosopher, ever mindful of human nature, understands that these power plays are more than mere games. They are reflections of deeper moral failings. To recognize these subtle moves, we must cultivate a keen sense of observation. Pay attention not only to what is said, but to what is left unsaid. Notice who speaks on your behalf without your consent, who makes decisions in your stead, and who subtly shifts the narrative to place themselves in a position of advantage. These are the signs of a power struggle that is waged not with swords, but with words and actions wrapped in false kindness. However, do not let this awareness breed paranoia. The Stoic path is one of balance, seeing things as they are without allowing our perceptions to be clouded by fear or suspicion. When you observe these subtle power plays, respond not with confrontation, but with calm, reasoned action. Reassert your boundaries with clarity and grace, and refuse to be drawn into a battle for control. Your strength lies in your inner stability, not in the fleeting dominance of external affairs. Remember the Stoic principle. He who controls himself is more powerful than he who seeks to control others. By mastering your own responses and maintaining your integrity, you disarm those who attempt to manipulate you. Their power over you dissolves, leaving you free to continue on your path, untouched by their envy or deceit. In the quiet recognition of these power dynamics, and in the measured response that follows, you will find not only the wisdom to protect yourself, but also the strength to rise above the petty struggles that ensnare others. Let your actions be guided by virtue, and let the power plays of others serve only as reminders of the importance of steadfastness in your own ethical journey. Number 3. Discern between constructive criticism and disparagement. Criticism, when delivered with sincerity and the intent to uplift, is a gift of great value. It is the mirror that reflects our flaws, guiding us towards self-improvement and greater wisdom. Yet not all criticism is born of goodwill. Hidden within some critiques is a seed of malice, a desire to diminish rather than to build, a tool of disparagement wielded by those whose hearts are tainted by envy. As followers of Stoic wisdom, it is our task to distinguish between these two forms of criticism. Constructive criticism is rooted in a genuine concern for your growth. It seeks to point out areas for improvement, not to tear you down, but to help you rise higher. A true friend or mentor, acting in the spirit of Stoic virtue, will offer such feedback with humility and respect, mindful of your dignity and the shared journey toward excellence. But there are others, driven by less noble motives, who cloak their envy in the guise of advice. Their words, though wrapped in the language of concern, carry a sharp edge meant to wound. They may highlight your mistakes, not to help you correct them, but to draw attention to your failures and, in doing so, elevate themselves. Such individuals seek to weaken your resolve, to make you doubt your abilities, and to sow discord in your mind. Consider this. A colleague, noticing a minor flaw in your work, publicly points it out in a manner that feels more like an attack than a helpful suggestion. Their tone is not one of kindness, but of condescension. They offer no guidance on how to improve, only a harsh critique that lingers in the air, aimed more at your spirit than at the task at hand. This is not the voice of constructive criticism. It is the murmur of disparagement, born of jealousy. To navigate these waters, the Stoic philosopher advises a calm and measured response. First, assess the intent behind the words. Ask yourself, does this person have a history of supporting my growth, or do they seem to take pleasure in highlighting my faults? Is their feedback specific and actionable, or is it vague and dismissive? Constructive criticism will always provide a path forward, while disparagement seeks only to halt your progress. Next, consider your own reaction. A Stoic heart remains unshaken by the opinions of others, holding fast to inner tranquility. If the critique is valid, accept it with grace and use it to refine your character. But if it is laced with malice, recognize it for what it is, a reflection of the critic's own insecurities, not of your worth. In this way, you protect your mind from the corrosive effects of envy and maintain your course on the path of virtue. Let us also remember that we, too, must be mindful of the way we offer criticism. As students of Stoicism, our words should be tempered with kindness and a genuine desire to uplift. In offering feedback, we should aim to build bridges, not walls, to enlighten, not to belittle. By practicing this, we not only strengthen our own moral fiber, but also contribute to the cultivation of a more just and harmonious community. In discerning between constructive criticism and disparagement, you wield the power to protect your inner peace while continuing to grow in wisdom and strength. Embrace the former with an open heart, and let the latter fall away like leaves in the wind, untouched by the fleeting malice of others. Your path is your own, and no voice of envy can steer you from it if you remain grounded in the principles of Stoic virtue. Number 4. Evaluate their response to your setbacks. In the course of life, setbacks are inevitable. They are the crucibles in which our character is tested, the moments that reveal the true nature of those around us. While some may stand by your side, offering support and encouragement, others may reveal a different, darker side, one that thrives on your misfortunes. As Stoics, we must learn to discern these reactions, for they provide a window into the souls of those we call friends and colleagues. Imagine you faced a significant setback, perhaps a project has failed, or a personal goal remains unmet. In this moment of vulnerability, the responses of those around you speak volumes. A true friend, one who embodies the Stoic virtues of empathy and kindness, will offer a steady hand, encouraging you to rise again and view the setback as a lesson, not a defeat. They understand that your worth is not diminished by this temporary stumble, but is instead refined through the experience. However, not all will respond with such integrity. There are those who, under the guise of sympathy, may secretly take pleasure in your difficulties. These individuals, driven by envy, may offer hollow words of consolation while internally celebrating your misfortune. Their concern is a mask, a facade to conceal the satisfaction they derive from seeing you falter. This reaction is a clear indicator of their true feelings, jealousy, hidden beneath a veneer of concern. Reflect on the subtleties of their behavior. Do they seem more animated when discussing your failures than your successes? Is there a hint of glee in their voice when they recount your struggles, a barely concealed satisfaction that betrays their envy? Such responses, though often subtle, are telling. They reveal a heart that is not aligned with your growth, but rather with the hope that your light will dim, allowing theirs to shine brighter in comparison. The Stoic philosopher advises that we respond to such individuals with equanimity. Recognize their envy for what it is, a reflection of their own inner turmoil, not a measure of your value. Do not allow their reactions to sway you from your path. Instead, let these moments deepen your understanding of human nature, reminding you that not all who walk beside you are truly with you. Furthermore, let these experiences sharpen your awareness of how you, too, respond to the setbacks of others. Are you quick to offer genuine support, or do you find a flicker of satisfaction in their difficulties? The Stoic path demands that we purge such impulses from our hearts, cultivating instead a spirit of true camaraderie, where we find joy not in the failures of others, but in their recovery and growth. Number 5. Monitor their consistency in supporting you. In the tapestry of human relationships, consistency is the thread that weaves trust, loyalty, and respect together. It is through consistent actions that the true nature of a person is revealed, just as the steady flame of a lamp illuminates the darkness. As Stoics, we are taught to observe not only what people say, but more importantly, what they do over time. For in the constancy or lack thereof of their support, the truth of their character emerges. Consider those who surround you in your journey. Are their words of encouragement and acts of kindness unwavering, or do they shift like the sands with the changing tides of circumstance? A friend or colleague who truly embodies the Stoic virtues will offer their support with a steady hand, regardless of whether the sun shines brightly on your successes or the clouds of difficulty gather overhead. Their commitment to your well-being does not falter with time or challenge. It remains as constant as the stars that guide the traveler at night. But beware of those whose support is as fickle as the wind. These are the individuals who cheer loudly when your path is smooth, but fall silent, or even turn away when you face obstacles. Their inconsistency is a mirror reflecting their true intentions. Support offered when it is easy or advantageous for them, withdrawn when it requires effort or sacrifice. This is not the mark of a true friend, but of one who is swayed by self-interest and convenience. Imagine a scenario where your life takes a sudden turn, and you are met with an unexpected challenge. You reach out to those you've considered allies, only to find that some are suddenly too busy, too distant, too distracted to offer the help they once so readily gave. Their excuses, though wrapped in politeness, reveal a deeper truth. Their support was conditional, contingent upon your circumstances, rather than a genuine commitment to your friendship. In contrast, a person of true character, one guided by Stoic principles, remains consistent in their support, understanding that the value of a relationship is measured not by how it thrives in times of ease, but by how it endures in times of hardship. They offer their help not out of obligation or expectation of return, but from a place of genuine care and shared values. As you reflect on the consistency of those around you, also turn your gaze inward. How steady is your own support for others? Do you stand by those you care for, regardless of the situation, or do you find your commitment waning when their fortunes dip? The Stoic path demands that we hold ourselves to the same standard we seek in others, that our loyalty be unwavering, our actions consistent, and our support sincere. By monitoring the consistency of support in your relationships, you protect yourself from the disillusionment of misplaced trust. You learn to value those whose friendship is steadfast, and to distance yourself from those who, through their inconsistency, reveal a lack of true commitment. In this way, you cultivate a circle of relationships that are not only reliable, but also deeply aligned with the Stoic virtues of integrity, loyalty, and mutual respect. Number 6. Detect passive-aggressive behavior. In the intricate dance of human interaction, not all hostility is declared openly. Some choose to wield their discontent not through direct confrontation, but through the subtle, insidious weapon of passive aggression. This form of behavior, often cloaked in ambiguity, is a quiet rebellion, a silent protest that reveals the disquiet of a soul troubled by envy or resentment. As Stoics, we are called to recognize these veiled expressions of discord, for they are as corrosive to relationships as open animosity, yet far more difficult to address. Passive-aggressive behavior is the art of masking hostility behind a facade of compliance or kindness. It manifests in the form of backhanded compliments, feigned forgetfulness, or the silent treatment, all designed to undermine without overtly challenging. The Stoic philosopher, trained in the observation of human nature, knows that these behaviors are not born of virtue, but of inner turmoil. They are the marks of a mind that has not yet learned to confront its own dissatisfaction directly. Consider a colleague who consistently forgets to include you in important meetings, only to apologize with a smile and a hollow excuse. Or a friend who offers compliments laced with subtle jabs. "You're so brave to wear that outfit. I could never pull it off." Comments that leave you questioning their sincerity. These are not the actions of a person at peace with themselves, but of one who harbors unresolved envy or frustration, unable or unwilling to express it openly. As Stoics, our task is to detect these behaviors with a clear and discerning mind, understanding that they are signals of deeper discontent. The passive-aggressive person often feels powerless or threatened, and rather than addressing their feelings directly, they resort to these indirect methods to assert control or express dissatisfaction. Recognizing this allows us to respond not with anger or defensiveness, but with a calm and measured approach. When faced with passive-aggressive behavior, the Stoic response is one of firm yet compassionate confrontation. Rather than ignoring these subtle attacks or allowing them to fester, we must address them directly, but without hostility. Ask the person if something is troubling them, offering them the opportunity to voice their concerns openly. By doing so, you disarm the passive aggression, stripping it of its power and bringing the underlying issue into the light where it can be resolved with reason and mutual respect. It is also essential to reflect on our own behaviors. The Stoic path demands that we be vigilant against the temptation to engage in passive aggression ourselves. When we feel wronged or envious, the Stoic response is to address these emotions head-on, either by resolving the issue with the other party or by accepting what we cannot change with equanimity. To indulge in passive aggression is to stray from the Stoic virtues of honesty, courage, and directness. In detecting and addressing passive-aggressive behavior, we cultivate relationships that are open, honest, and free from the corrosive effects of unspoken resentment. We create an environment where concerns are voiced directly and resolved through dialogue, rather than festering in the shadows. By adhering to the principles of Stoicism, we protect our own peace of mind and foster a community grounded in mutual respect and genuine support. Number 7. Pay attention to selective generosity. Generosity is often hailed as one of the highest virtues, a manifestation of our capacity to give without expectation of return. Yet, as we tread the Stoic path, we learn that not all generosity is born of pure intentions. There exists a form of giving that is tainted by self-interest, a selective generosity that serves not the needs of others, but the desires of the giver. To the Stoic philosopher, this is a crucial distinction, for it is through understanding the motives behind generosity that we reveal the true character of those around us. Selective generosity is the practice of offering help, resources, or kindness only when it is convenient or beneficial to the giver. It is a form of generosity that shines brightest when it is most visible, yet dims in the shadows where there is nothing to gain. Such behavior is often a sign of hidden envy or deceit, where the outward act of giving is used to mask an inner desire for recognition, power, or control. Imagine a colleague who is quick to offer assistance when the eyes of superiors are upon them, yet disappears when the task requires effort without reward. Or consider a friend who is generous with their time and resources only when it enhances their reputation or secures a favor in return. This is not true generosity, but a transaction, a calculated act designed to elevate their standing or maintain a position of advantage. As Stoics, we are taught to observe these patterns with a discerning eye. True generosity, as espoused by our philosophy, is consistent, selfless, and unconditional. It does not seek applause, nor does it weigh the potential benefits before acting. It is given freely from a place of inner abundance, and with the understanding that the act of giving itself is its own reward. Selective generosity, on the other hand, is a mirror reflecting the giver's insecurities and ambitions, a tool used to manipulate rather than to support. To identify this behavior, we must look beyond the act of giving itself and examine the context in which it occurs. Ask yourself, does this person offer their help only when it is convenient for them? Do they give more readily when others are watching, or when they stand to gain something in return? Is their generosity consistent, or does it fluctuate based on their circumstances or their relationship with the recipient? Recognizing selective generosity allows us to navigate our relationships with greater wisdom. It teaches us to value those who give from the heart, whose kindness is as steady as a river's flow, not as unpredictable as the weather. It also serves as a reminder to examine our own motives when we offer our help. Are we truly giving out of compassion and a desire to aid others? Or are we subtly influenced by the prospect of reward, recognition, or influence? The Stoic way is to practice a form of generosity that is untainted by self-interest, that mirrors the constancy of nature itself. When we give, let it be with a full heart, expecting nothing in return, and let our acts of kindness extend beyond the boundaries of convenience and personal gain. In doing so, we align ourselves with the Stoic ideals of virtue and integrity, contributing to a world where generosity is a true reflection of our highest selves. Number 8. Notice their attitude towards mutual success. In the pursuit of our goals, we often find ourselves working alongside others, sharing in both the toil and the triumphs that follow. Success, when achieved together, should be a source of collective joy, a testament to the power of unity and collaboration. Yet in this shared victory, the true nature of those around us is often revealed. As Stoics, we must learn to observe how others react to mutual success, for it is in these moments that envy and deceit can subtly make themselves known. Mutual success is a powerful force. It binds individuals with a shared sense of accomplishment and pride. However, not all who partake in this success do so with a pure heart. There are those who, rather than celebrating the collective achievement, may feel threatened by the success of others. Their discomfort often manifests in subtle ways through a reluctance to share credit, a quiet diminishing of your contributions, or even an attempt to reframe the narrative to elevate their own role. Imagine working on a project where the outcome is a resounding success. As the accolades pour in, you notice a shift in one of your collaborators. Perhaps they begin to downplay your role, steering conversations to highlight their contributions instead. Or maybe they offer praise that feels hollow, as though begrudgingly acknowledging your part in the victory. These are signs that their celebration of the success is tempered by envy, a desire to be recognized as the sole architect of the achievement. The Stoic philosopher understands that such reactions stem from insecurity, an inability to find satisfaction in shared success, driven by a need for individual recognition. This attitude is the antithesis of the Stoic virtue of sympathia, the understanding that we are all part of a greater whole, and that true success is found not in solitary triumph, but in the flourishing of the community. To notice this attitude towards mutual success, pay close attention to how others distribute credit. Are they eager to acknowledge the efforts of the team, or do they focus disproportionately on their own contributions? Do they celebrate the collective victory with genuine enthusiasm, or is there a subtle undercurrent of resentment in their words? These observations will help you discern whether you are surrounded by true collaborators or by those whose support is conditional, dependent on their own prominence in the spotlight. However, in this observation, we must also turn our gaze inward. The Stoic path requires us to examine our own reactions to shared success. Are we truly content with the knowledge that we contributed to a collective victory? Or do we find ourselves longing for individual recognition? Do we elevate our teammates and celebrate their achievements alongside our own? Or do we quietly compete with them, even in moments of mutual success? True Stoic virtue lies in the ability to rejoice in the success of others as much as in our own. It is the recognition that each individual's achievement is a thread in the greater tapestry of the community's success. By fostering this mindset, we not only strengthen our relationships, but also cultivate a sense of inner peace, unshaken by the need for personal accolades. When you encounter those who struggle to embrace mutual success, respond with understanding and kindness. Their reaction is a reflection of their own internal conflict, not of your worth. Lead by example, be generous in your praise, sincere in your celebration of others' achievements, and steadfast in your commitment to the collective good. In doing so, you embody the Stoic ideal of eudaimonia, flourishing through virtuous living. By noticing others' attitudes towards mutual success, you gain insight into the true dynamics of your relationships. You learn to align yourself with those who value collective achievement over individual glory, and you fortify your own character against the temptations of envy and pride. Let this understanding guide you as you navigate the successes and challenges of life, always striving to build a community where every victory is shared and celebrated by all. Number 9. Evaluate their loyalty during adversity. It is said that true friendship is forged in the fires of adversity, where the superficial bonds of convenience are burned away, revealing the enduring metal of genuine loyalty. In times of ease, many will walk beside you, basking in the warmth of shared success and the light of favorable circumstances. But when the winds of misfortune blow, and the path grows dark with challenges, it is then that the true nature of those around you is revealed. As Stoics, we are called to evaluate this loyalty with a discerning eye, understanding that it is in adversity that the sincerity of a friend or ally is most clearly shown. Adversity acts as a crucible, testing the strength of relationships and the integrity of those within them. When difficulties arise, whether in personal struggles, professional setbacks, or unexpected life challenges, observe who remains by your side, offering support and steadfast companionship. These are the individuals whose loyalty is not swayed by circumstance, who see you not as a fair-weather companion, but as a partner in all seasons of life. Their loyalty is an embodiment of the Stoic virtue of fides, faithfulness that endures through the trials and tribulations of existence. Yet adversity also reveals those whose loyalty is more fleeting, tethered not to you, but to the benefits your relationship provides. These are the people who, when the storm clouds gather, quietly withdraw, finding reasons to distance themselves from your struggle. Their concern for you diminishes in direct proportion to the challenges you face, and their support, once freely given, becomes scarce. Such behavior is a clear indicator of a loyalty rooted in self-interest, not in genuine commitment to your well-being. Imagine a moment of personal crisis, a loss, a failure, or a significant challenge. As you reach out for support, you notice that some who once seemed close now offer only excuses. Their reassurances ring hollow, their actions fail to align with their words, and their presence, once dependable, becomes sporadic or altogether absent. This withdrawal is not merely a reflection of their priorities, but of their character. For in the Stoic understanding, a true friend is one who does not abandon their post, even when the battle becomes fierce. To evaluate loyalty during adversity, reflect on the consistency of their actions in your times of need. Did they offer their help without hesitation, or did they shrink from the burden of your struggle? Did they remain present, providing solace and strength, or did they vanish into the background, leaving you to weather the storm alone? These observations are not just about assessing the loyalty of others, but also about deepening your understanding of what true loyalty means. But as always, the Stoic examination does not stop with others. It turns inward as well. How do you respond when those you care for face adversity? Are you the steadfast companion, offering unwavering support? Or do you find yourself retreating when their challenges demand more than you are willing to give? The Stoic path demands that we cultivate a loyalty that is resilient, that we stand firm not just in the sunshine of friendship, but in the rain of hardship as well. In this way, we strive to embody the Stoic ideal of amicizia, a friendship built on mutual respect, trust, and an unbreakable bond that is not swayed by the shifting fortunes of life. By evaluating loyalty during adversity, you gain a deeper understanding of who truly walks with you on this journey. You learn to cherish those whose loyalty is unwavering, and to distance yourself from those who falter when you need them most. Remember, adversity is not merely a test, it is a revealer of truth. It strips away the pretense and reveals the core of our relationships. Let this knowledge guide you as you navigate the storms of life, always seeking to surround yourself with those whose loyalty is as steadfast as your own. And in doing so, forge connections that are as enduring as the Stoic virtues themselves. Number 10. Trust your intuition and reason. In the complex web of human relationships, where envy and deceit can be concealed behind smiles and pleasantries, we are often left questioning our own perceptions. Should we trust the subtle feelings of unease that arise when someone's words do not match their actions, or when their support feels insincere? As Stoics, we are guided by two powerful tools: intuition, the whisper of our inner voice, and reason, the clear light of our rational mind. Together, these faculties allow us to navigate the uncertainties of human interaction with wisdom and confidence. Intuition is the quiet, persistent voice that speaks from deep within, a voice that often senses what the eyes cannot see and the ears cannot hear. It is that inexplicable feeling of discomfort in the presence of someone who outwardly appears friendly, the nagging suspicion that something is amiss despite all evidence to the contrary. The Stoic philosopher recognizes that intuition, though subtle, is not to be dismissed. It is the product of countless experiences and observations, distilled into a form of wisdom that operates below the surface of conscious thought. But intuition alone is not enough. The Stoic path demands that we balance this inner sense with the rigorous application of reason. Reason is the faculty that examines, questions, and analyzes. It is the tool by which we differentiate between true insights and fleeting emotions, between justified concern and baseless fear. When your intuition warns you of something, do not ignore it, but do not act on it impulsively either. Instead, bring it into the light of reason and subject it to careful scrutiny. Consider a scenario where you feel a persistent unease around a colleague. Though they have done nothing overtly wrong, your instincts tell you that their intentions may not be as pure as they seem. As a Stoic, you do not dismiss this feeling. Instead, you ask yourself, what is it about their behavior that triggers this response? Have there been inconsistencies in their actions, subtle signs of envy or dishonesty? By engaging both intuition and reason, you can arrive at a clearer understanding, free from the distortions of mere suspicion or bias. In the teachings of Stoicism, this harmony between intuition and reason is essential. Marcus Aurelius, in his Meditations, reminds us that the soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts. If we allow fear or paranoia to dominate our thinking, we risk seeing threats where there are none, turning our relationships into battlegrounds of distrust. But if we ignore our intuition, we risk walking blindly into the traps set by those who do not have our best interests at heart. The Stoic philosopher, therefore, advocates for a middle path, one that honors the wisdom of intuition, but is always guided by the clarity of reason. Trust your inner voice, for it speaks from a place of deep knowledge, but let reason be the compass that directs your actions. This approach not only protects you from the deceptions of others, but also ensures that you remain aligned with your own values and principles. As you navigate the complexities of human interaction, remember that intuition and reason are not opposing forces, but complementary ones. Together, they form the foundation of true wisdom, enabling you to discern the genuine from the false, the trustworthy from the deceitful. By cultivating this balance, you equip yourself with the tools needed to maintain your inner peace and to build relationships that are rooted in mutual respect and authenticity. In the end, the Stoic path is one of careful discernment. Trust your intuition, refine it with reason, and let these guides lead you toward a life of greater clarity, integrity, and harmony. In doing so, you will not only protect yourself from the pitfalls of envy and deceit, but also strengthen the bonds of trust that form the bedrock of all meaningful human connections. As we journey through life, the path we walk is often strewn with the complexities of human relationships, friendship and rivalry, loyalty and betrayal, sincerity and deception. The teachings of Stoicism offer us a timeless guide to navigate these challenges with wisdom and integrity, helping us to recognize envy and falsehood in those around us, and perhaps more importantly, within ourselves. The methods we have explored, observing actions over words, evaluating responses to success and adversity, discerning between genuine and selective generosity, and trusting our intuition and reason, are not just strategies for protecting ourselves from the deceit of others. They are also practices that refine our own character, aligning our actions with the Stoic virtues of honesty, courage, and compassion. Remember, the Stoic philosopher does not seek to control the external world, but to master the inner one. We cannot change the hearts of others, nor can we prevent the existence of envy or deceit. But we can cultivate a mind that sees clearly and a heart that remains steady in the face of life's trials. By applying these principles, we rise above the pettiness of envy and the shadows of falsehood, building relationships grounded in truth and mutual respect. In a world where appearances often deceive, where words can be empty and actions can be misleading, it is our duty to remain vigilant, to see things as they truly are. This vigilance is not born of cynicism, but of wisdom, a wisdom that understands the dual nature of human beings, capable of both great virtue and deep vice. Let us, therefore, commit to a life of careful observation and thoughtful reflection. Let us strive to be the kind of people whose words and actions are always in harmony, whose loyalty does not waver with circumstance, and whose generosity is given freely without expectation of return. By doing so, we not only protect ourselves from the falsehoods of others, but we also contribute to a world that is more honest, more just, and more compassionate. The journey of a Stoic is not one of isolation, but of connection. Connection to the deeper truths of human nature and to the eternal principles that guide us toward a life of virtue. As you move forward, carry with you the lessons we have discussed, applying them in your daily interactions and allowing them to shape the person you are becoming. Life is too precious to be spent entangled in the webs of envy and deceit. Instead, let us walk the path of the Stoic, guided by reason, fortified by virtue, and dedicated to the pursuit of inner peace and true wisdom. In this way, we not only live well, but we also inspire others to do the same, creating a ripple effect that extends far beyond our own lives. May your journey be one of clarity and strength, and may the wisdom of Stoicism be your constant companion, helping you to navigate the complexities of life with grace and dignity. Remember, the greatest victory is not over others, but over oneself, achieved through the mastery of the mind, the tempering of the heart, and the unwavering pursuit of truth.